Story right now. The verdict in the Gulbarg massacre has been pronounced. 36 of the 66 accused have been acquitted and 24 of them have been convicted. So 24 people have been found guilty in the Gulbarg society massacre by a special court 14 years after that mob had attacked the housing society in Ahmedabad. So this is indeed a big news that has come in, a big verdict that has come in from the Ahmedabad court that just pronounced the judgment a short while back. 36 of the 66 accused that have been now acquitted and 24 people who have been found guilty. It was a mob of nearly 20,000 people that had attacked Gulbarg society. It was, of course, a cluster of many bungalows and apartment buildings on February 28th. And in that, in fact, former Congress lawmaker Ehsan Jafri also very tragically lost his life. His wife, in fact, Ehsan Jafri, has been fighting along. Vidya joins us now for more on this. Vidya, first up, just give us more details about the 24 people who have been acquitted and those who have been let off.
No, Bipin Patel, the sitting councillor of BJP, are among those people who have been let off. But certainly, there were quite a few people who are, as yet, convicted by the court in this particular case with substantial evidence against them. But certainly the arguments for the entire quantum of sentence that has to be given will determine on 6th June exactly as to what kind of sentence these people are handed over. But since they have been found guilty by the court will now sit for arguments in the next few days and find out exactly what kind of a sentence that has to be meted out to these people.
In fact, Ehsan Jafri has been very vocal, all through these years. She's been saying that she wants to see the guilty to get the strictest of punishment after the death of her husband, Ehsan Jafri, and also many others, who lost their lives in that horrific massacre. Vidya, have you been able to speak to any of the family members of those who lost their dear ones in that tragedy?
No, Avantika, in fact, the victims, most of them haven't yet come here. In fact, they have all collected at a particular place around the Gulbarg society itself, and they had been eagerly awaiting the judgment for the last 14 years. In fact, they had themselves been looking for a closure of sorts, after the judgment would come about. But certainly the big wigs like the councillor Bipin Patel letting off, it will be worthwhile to see exactly what they really feel about this entire judgment. But certainly with 36 people being acquitted and the rest being convicted, whether the people who had actually seen the entire massacre, the people who had actually seen the entire massacre happening right in front of them, it will be worthwhile to just speak to them exactly as to those people who they had seen, who they had pointed out in the court, where they were the ones who were let off, or the people who the court says that not substantial evidence has been found, are the ones that probably it was only circumstantial evidence that the case had hinged upon. It's something that, the nitty-gritties of this entire case will be really found out only with the detailed judgment coming about. It is just the operative order that has been given out today. And with this, what we certainly have gotten to know, the number of people who have been acquitted and convicted, but the detailed order is something that is really awaited by the people.
And by when is that expected, Vidya, that detailed judgment? And also just if you could tell us a little bit more about Bipin Patel, the sitting BJP cooperator who has also been let off and who was in fact purportedly seen in that crowd which had attacked the society. Can you tell us a little bit more about the arguments, more details?
Certainly there were a lot of eyewitnesses who had recognized the people. In fact, yesterday also when I was speaking to Imtiaz Pathan, one of the persons who lived right next to, the parliamentarian Zakir, he completely said that he had seen a lot of these people and had pointed out to these people in his statement. And, in fact, in the court also, he, along with others, whoever they had seen, they had pointed out to the accused. So certainly, they really themselves want to know exactly why the court found out that there was not much evidence against these people. And certainly with this judgment now, kept for the quantum punishment to be discussed, that's something that, the entire victim families have been really wanting to know exactly what is the kind of judgment that will be meted out. to these people who have been, there are about 8 or 9 of them, these accused who have already spent quite a few number of years behind
Yes.
bars. But most of them had already been out. They had been walking free until now on bail. So quite a few of them will have to go back to the jail, while people like Bipin Patel, who were already on bail, can walk home free today.
Absolutely, absolutely, Vidya. So just a quick recap of that news. 24 people who have been found guilty in the Gulbarg Society massacre by a special court 14 years after a mob had attacked the housing society. And this, of course, is a big moment there. But there are many others also who have been acquitted. The quantum of punishment, as Vidya was just telling us, would be pronounced on the 6th of June. And we are also still awaiting a detailed judgment. So, Vidya, can you just tell us what will happen now from here on, starting from tomorrow? Vidya, can you hear me? Yes. Vidya, can you hear me? If you could just tell us, as you rightly just mentioned, that the quantum of punishment would be pronounced on the 6th of June, then what happens from tomorrow? Okay, we'll try and get to Vidya in just a bit. So the big verdict that has just come out, 24 people being found guilty in the Gulbarg Society massacre. This incident took place when a mob of nearly 20,000 had attacked the Gulbarg Society on the 28th of February, and you can see exactly what happened on the 28th of February 2002 when this mob of 20,000 people torched the housing society, killing 69 people. In fact, it was a huge mob, and the society was a cluster of about 29 bungalows and 10 apartment buildings. On 26th March 2008, the Supreme Court then ordered the formation of an SIT that was headed by the former CBI Director R.K. Raghavan. In fact, it was the Supreme Court which was monitoring the entire case. And today, we have finally got the verdict. The Supreme Court then lifted the stay on the trial in the month of September in the year 2009. So you can imagine the event, the tragedy, the massacre that took place in the year 2002, and then in 2010, the SIT summoned the then Gujarat Chief Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and he was also grilled for several hours. On 15th March 2012, the SIT submitted their entire report before the magisterial court. This was in the year 2012. And then in the same year, on 10th of April, it was the SIT seeking the closure of the case, finding no evidence against the accused who were mentioned in the complaints, and a clean chit was given to the then Gujarat Chief Minister, Narendra Modi, and all the others. And as Vidya was also telling us, that there have been several eyewitnesses to this case. In 2013, the court accepted the SIT's clean chit to the Chief Minister of the state at that time, Narendra Modi. Vidya, coming to you now, this is a big verdict that has come in after 14 long years. And we just heard from you how, the court has given its judgment saying that 24 people have been found guilty in the massacre by the special court, and that the quantum of punishment will now be announced on the 6th of June. Tell us, from now on, what happens next? Like from tomorrow, what will be discussed in the special court? When can we expect more details from this judgment?
Well, the detailed judgment will be only finally out later on, but from tomorrow there will be arguments in the case. The prosecution will ask for the highest punishment in the case, while the defense will be asking for leniency. But with this case, the kind of incident that we had really seen with rioting, with conspiracy really taking place, the court has really established, yes, that there was a conspiracy, and that's one of the reasons why these 24 people have been acquitted under various sections of conspiracy, as well as rioting and setting ablaze homes of people in Gulbarg society. But certainly with this entire judgment, the arguments will continue for the next few days that we'll be seeing, and it will be only on 6th of June that we will see an order coming about on the sentencing, but it will be much later on. But at the moment, yes, the victims who had been waiting for this entire judgment to come about in the last 14 years are certainly, giving out mixed reactions with the fact that, the big fishes like Patel have been let off, while, there have been others like the 24 others who have been convicted. So it is certainly a mixed reaction for both they are looking for closure at the end of the day.
Yes.
But will just the conviction of these 4, and we don't even know at this moment as to how many years of sentence they will be given out ultimately. But as of now, handing over its punishment for 24 is something that they were not really looking out for. They were hoping that all the accused, including the big fishes like Patel, would be
Vidya.
convicted, as there had been eyewitnesses accounts of there as well.
Absolutely, Vidya. You know, the family members of those who lost their lives in the tragedy in that massacre obviously have been waiting for this day. And we have one of the, relations, a father of one of, in fact, his father was killed in that terrible tragedy. His son now joins us, Imtiaz Khan. Imtiaz, thank you so much, for speaking to us. We just have been talking about this verdict that has come about. Your first reactions, we are getting to hear that 24 people have been convicted, but there are many others who have been let off. They have been acquitted. How do you respond? Do you feel that you have got justice? जी इम्तियाज, आपको मेरी आवाज सुनाई दे रही है?
हाँ, सुनाई दे रही है.
आपका पहला रिएक्शन इम्तियाज, कैन यू जस्ट टेल अस आप क्या महसूस कर रहे हैं? 24 पीपल हैव बीन कन्विक्टेड, बट बहुत सारे लोगों को भी रिलीज करा गया है, उनके खिलाफ कोई मतलब एक्शन नहीं लिया गया है. हाउ डू यू रिस्पॉन्ड?
इसमें कैसा है कि मैंने जब वहां पर 23 आरोपियों को कोर्ट के रूबरू खड़ा कर दिया था, और जो भी मैंने देखा था वहां पर गुलबर्ग में मेरे साथ जो हमारे साथ हत्याकांड हुआ था, उसमें मैंने सारे आरोपियों को देखा था. जो आरोपियों को देखा था उसमें मैंने 23 एक्यूज को मैंने वहां खड़ा किया था कोर्ट रूबरू, और बाकी के दूसरे लोगों ने भी वहां पर जैसे जिनकी सबकी गवाही रही थी उन्होंने खड़ा किया था. पर मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कहीं कुछ क्या पता क्या हुआ है. 24 आरोपी, उसमें से 11 आरोपियों को हत्या का दोषी ठहराया गया है, क्योंकि 69 लोगों की हत्या हुई है. और उसमें काफी करीबन हमको ये उम्मीद थी कि मैक्सिमम 40 लोग, 30 से 35-40 लोगों को दोषी करार दिया जाएगा, और हत्या के मामले में करीबन 30 लोगों को, 30 से 25 लोगों को करा जाएगा. पर अब क्या देखते हैं, अब क्या होगा आगे. अभी कोर्ट का फैसला अभी 6 जून तक दूसरा बाकी है, और अभी किन किन के नाम जो आए नहीं है, अभी किस किस को, जैसे बिपिन पटेल है, बिपिन पटेल को बाइज्जत बरी कर दिया है, जाकि उनको भी हमारे भाई ने, कजिन बदर ने बताया था कि इन्होंने तलवार मारी थी और ये जलाने में साथ में थे, फिर भी उनको बरी कर दिया है. तो अभी मैं क्या कह सकता हूं कोर्ट को कि कोर्ट क्या फैसला, अभी 6 जून को बाकी है. और दूसरे जो भी 11 आरोपियों को हत्या का करार दिया है, वो 11 आरोपियों के नाम बाकी है. अभी तक मुझे पता नहीं है उनके नाम अभी क्या आए. मैंने जो आरोपियों के नाम दिए उसमें से आए कि नहीं आए, वो मुझे अभी तक मेरे को पता नहीं है. पता चलेगा तो मैं फिर अपना रिएक्शन दूंगा.
Absolutely. Okay, we have right now with us the wife of the former Congress MP Ehsan Jafri, Zakia Jafri, who has been fighting this very long battle. She is with us now on India Today. Ma'am, we just, got to hear about this very crucial verdict that is coming in. I was in fact speaking to another gentleman, Imtiaz Khan, who lost his father in that tragedy, and he was sounding very disappointed and very upset with the verdict. Your first reactions, ma'am? Okay, we'll get back to Ms. Zakia Jafri, who was hopeful of getting justice, and she has been, in fact, very vocal about her thoughts and her views, and she also wanted to see the guilty to get the strictest of punishment. We are still going to wait for the 6th of June when the sentencing will be awarded to those who have been found guilty in the massacre. This was, in fact, an incident that took place on the 28th of February in the year 2002, when the Gulbarg society, which is a cluster of many bungalows and 10 apartment buildings, was attacked by a mob of 20,000 people, in which several lost their lives. Imtiaz, आप अभी मेंशन कर रहे थे that आपको लगता है अभी तो 24 people को convict करा है, 24 people have been found guilty. आप कह रहे हैं कि 24 लोग बहुत कम है, इनसे ज्यादा भी बहुत सारे लोग थे who were part of that massacre.
हाँ, काफी लोग थे, उसमें से 64-67 आरोपी थे, उसमें से 5 आरोपी मर गए वो, और बाकी के 60 अभी 61 आरोपी थे अंदर. तो कहीं ना कहीं कोई चूक रही है, या वकीलों की चूक रही है या कुछ फैसले के अंदर। बाकी जो न्याय तंत्र जो फैसला करता है, हमारी जुबानी गवाही जो रही है वो काफी अहम रही है और मजबूत रही है। हम कोई भी तरह से हम लोग फिरे नहीं है। और जो हमारे साथ हादसा हुआ था और जो हादसा जो दर्दनाक बीता हमारे साथ, वो हमने एसआईटी में बयान किया था, कोर्ट में बयान किया था। उसमें ना कोई बंडल बात थी, ना कुछ बंडल था, ना कुछ उमेरा था। हमने जो था, जो हमने वहां पर देखा था, हमारे साथ बीता था, वो हमने दिया था। तो किस हद तक मुझे ये लगता है कि क्योंकि मैंने 23 एक्यूज को पहचाना था, बाकी के मेरे फादर तो ऑलरेडी जिंदा है। मेरे बड़े अब्बा जो थे उनको कत्ल कर दिया गया था। मेरे घर में से 10 लोगों को वहां कत्ल कर दिया। और बाकी के सायरा बहन है, सलीम भाई है, रूपा बहन है और मेरे फादर है फिरोज गुलजार है। सबकी यानी जुबानी बहुत अच्छी रही थी। सबने जो उनके साथ बीती थी वहां पर वो चीजें देखी थी। उसके बावजूद अमुक लोगों को आज दोषी नहीं करार दिया है और 36 लोगों को निर्दोष छोड़ दिया गया है। अब वो पूरा चुकादा अभी बाकी है कि क्या है, किस तरह निर्दोष छोड़ा गया, कौन से उसके अंदर, अभी वो सब देखने का बाकी है। और जो 24 लोगों को दोषी करार दिया है तो उसमें किस के जो अगर मैंने जो नाम दिए थे उसमें है तो मुझे वो सर्टिफिकेशन होगा, मैं वो देखूंगा। उसके बाद कुछ मेरा रिएक्शन होगा।
जी
अभी मैं आपको क्या बताऊं, मेरे को अभी इतना ही मालूम है कि 24 आरोपी, पर कौन से आरोपी जो मैंने नाम दिए थे उसमें से है कि क्या है।
जी इम्तियाज, जस्ट स्टे विद मी, वी आर गेटिंग इन a reaction now once again from the wife of the former Congress MP Ehsan Jafri, who also lost his life in that tragedy. Let's listen in to Zakia Jafri what she has to say about this verdict.
कि उन्होंने 36 लोगों को क्यों छोड़ दिया, उसके लिए मुझे आगे और कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा और कार्रवाई करना पड़ेगा।
क्या आगे लड़ाई जारी रखेंगे?
जी हाँ, मैं आगे लड़ाई जारी रखूंगी।
क्या न्याय मिला ऐसा लग रहा है आपको?
हाँ,
पूरा न्याय नहीं मिला?
नहीं, कि मुझे पूरा न्याय नहीं मिला।
क्या मान रहे हो आप इस जजमेंट को, किस तरह से देख रहे हो आप?
ऐसा
कोर्ट का फैसला है उसके बारे में
ये
क्या
कोर्ट का फैसला जो है तो मुझे बराबर लगा नहीं। जो जिसकी मैं उम्मीद लगाए बैठी थी वो मुझे बराबर से नहीं नजर आ रहा है।
का जजमेंट आया, 24 लोगों को दोषी पाया गया, 36 को छोड़ दिया गया। क्या मान रहे हो आप इस जजमेंट?
उसके लिए मुझे अफसोस है कि उन्होंने 36 लोगों को क्यों छोड़ दिया। उसके लिए मुझे आगे और कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा और कार्रवाई करना पड़ेगा।
क्या आगे लड़ाई जारी रखेंगे?
जी हाँ, मैं आगे लड़ाई जारी रखूंगी।
क्या न्याय मिला ऐसा लग रहा है आपको?
हाँ,
पूरा न्याय नहीं मिला?
नहीं, कि मुझे पूरा न्याय नहीं मिला।
क्या मान रहे हो आप इस जजमेंट को, किस तरह से देख रहे हो आप?
ऐसा
कोर्ट का फैसला है उसके बारे में
ये
क्या
कोर्ट का फैसला जो है तो मुझे बराबर लगा नहीं। जो जिसकी मैं उम्मीद लगाए बैठी थी वो मुझे बराबर से नहीं नजर आ रहा है।
का जजमेंट आया, 24 लोगों को दोषी पाया गया, 36 को छोड़ दिया गया। क्या मान रहे हो आप इस जजमेंट?
उसके लिए मुझे अफसोस है कि उन्होंने 36 लोगों को क्यों छोड़ दिया। उसके लिए मुझे आगे और कुछ सोचना पड़ेगा और कार्रवाई करना पड़ेगा।
Okay, so that was Zakia Jafri there speaking to the reporters who were asking her reactions, her first reactions to the court judgment that was just pronounced a short while back. Vidya, in fact, has been getting us all the details. Just a quick recap of, the judgment, the verdict that has come about, that 24 people, in fact, have been convicted, and more than, in fact, the others have been let off. 24 people have been found guilty in the Gulbarg Society massacre by the special court. And we just heard Zakia Jafri there speaking to the reporters. We have with us Imtiaz Khan, who also lost his father in that terrible tragedy. Imtiaz, आपको पता नहीं अगर आवाज़ आई जाकिया जाफरी जी की, मगर वो कह रही है कि वो बहुत ही डिसअपॉइंटेड है। उनको लगा कि उनको न्याय नहीं मिला है इस जजमेंट से। इनफैक्ट उनको लग रहा है कि ये जजमेंट बिल्कुल सही नहीं है और वो अपनी लड़ाई जारी रखेंगी। आप क्या कहते हैं इस बारे में?
हाँ, सही बात है। उनकी बात जो है बिल्कुल सही बात है, क्योंकि हमारी उम्मीद काफी थी और ये जजमेंट से हम सर्टिफाइड नहीं है। क्योंकि नहीं है कि इसमें काफी जज बदला गए, बीयू जोशी बदला गए, डांडा साहब बदला गए, तो अलग अलग जज आते गए और उनके हिसाब से सुनते गए। तो ये केस का ये हो गया कि अभी इतने आरोपी को, एक्यूजों को आना चाहिए था। फिर भी हम इस जजमेंट से मैं भी सर्टिफाइड नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे को भी एक आघात लगा है कि बहुत इसमें हमने मेहनत करी है, काफी मेहनत लगी है, काफी दुख से परेशान हुए और काफी चीजें हमने इसमें सहन करी है। तो आज इस जजमेंट को मैं भी नहीं हूँ, मैं भी आगे जाऊंगा, मैं भी आगे ही जाऊंगा इंशाल्लाह।
आगे जाऊंगा मतलब आप बता सकते हैं आपका नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या होगा?
हाँ, हम जाएंगे सुप्रीम कोर्ट, साथ में ही जाएंगे, जो भी है वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लड़ेंगे और इसको पटकार करेंगे कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा एक्यूजों को सजा होनी चाहिए और ज्यादा से ज्यादा आरोपी आने चाहिए। जिस हिसाब से जो गवाही रही है वो मीडिया को भी पता है और कोर्ट को भी पता है, हर चीज किस हिसाब से रही है, काफी अच्छी रही है गवाही। कोई साक्षी, कोई गवाह आज तक कभी कोई पैसा लेकर के हर चीज से फिरा नहीं है, धमकी वगैरह से भी।
जी।
तो मैं अभी इसमें सर्टिफाइड नहीं हूँ।
All right. Imtiaz, just stay with me. We also have Vidya, who has been getting us all the updates. Vidya, we have been talking to family members. We just heard, in fact, Ms. Ehsan Jafri expressing their disappointment and very upset with the judgment, and now, planning their next move. They are all planning to once again move the Supreme Court because they feel that injustice has been done to them. They feel that they have not got what they have been waiting for, what they have been hoping for and praying for after all these years.
Avantika, remember in this entire case, the prosecution had put across that there were more than 20,000 people on that very day since 8 in the morning, and it was later in the afternoon at 2 that the attacks really took place. Even at that time, there was a crowd of over 20,000 to 22,000 people, and among those, there were approximately 66 people that the SIT had said that who were accused of this entire case of conspiracy, as well as sections of setting ablaze homes, rioting, and of murder as well. But between all these cases, if you remember, the court now said a few people have been convicted has been found against. While
okay. All right, Vidya, we're having a bit of an audio issue there, but thank you so much for joining us. Imtiaz Khan, thank you so much for taking the time out and, just sharing with us your reactions about the judgment that just came about a short while back.